Hello. So you can hear Fisk in the background if you're on if you're a gamer on YouTube. If you like watching gamers, my daughter watching Fisk because he's one of her favorite gamers, and I am working on art. If you are one of my followers on TikTok, I am chronically spicy across all platforms. And um, I got banned from going live on TikTok until October 6th uh, for a certain kind of speech that didn't actually happen. But I appealed it and it was denied. So there you go. This is where we're at. So I'm just going to be using this opportunity to work on trying to start posting a little bit more often on YouTube and on Facebook, and work on building my audience on both of these platforms. I know that I have just a small number of followers over here. I have almost 6,000 followers on TikTok, and if I can get just 1,000 of you to follow me over here, I think I need around 800 more. I can actually monetize a channel, which would be amazing. So if you, and I know that I did post in the comments announcing the TikTok ban, and a lot of people asked for my information for where to find me on YouTube. And so hopefully if you happen to see this, because I know when it goes live, it stays live, unlike TikTok, which is one of the benefits. So that's why I kind of don't mind talking to myself right now, because you will see this eventually, and that's cool. So, for those who don't know, my name is Pauline, chronically spicy across all platforms. I have mast cell activation syndrome. I have coconut allergy, latex allergy. I'm allergic to ethanol diammonium chloride, and I'm allergic to a variety of latex cross allergens. I also have hypermobile spectrum disorder and am being evaluated for a variety of other things. I'm also autistic and have ADHD. ADHD is unmedicated because of my coconut allergy, which, good times there. But here you go. I wish that there was a way for me to post live on TikTok right now, because that's where my base is. But it is what it is. So, what I like to do is I'm an artist and I work on my Day of the Dead art and other things. And these are all pieces that have been sold. Well, this one's been sold. This one I'm working on, it's probably for me until or if it sells. Sometimes I hold on to my stuff for a while. Sometimes it takes a few years to sell. Sometimes it sells fast. So we'll have to see what happens. Let's see. Can I get into? I'm also trying to log into Facebook. I know I'm going live really, really late. But I was going to go live on TikTok and then forgot that I can't. So there you go. Let's see. Nope, that is not supported. Okay, so let's see. Amounts of, yep, separate. Chrome. Okay, try another way. Enter password to log in. Let's do that. Let's see. So, I haven't been posting, I have a lot of content on TikTok that I have been meaning to get over to YouTube because it's important to share the information. And the one thing that I've realized is that while there is a very large chronic illness community on TikTok, uh, it's not quite so prevalent over here on YouTube. And that means that, well, we need to work on that. I have a number of chronic illness warrior mutuals and people that I've collaborated with that I would also like to try and start getting over here on YouTube so that we can bring the conversation to the greater public, because not everybody is on TikTok. Not everybody wants to have their information on the app, and that's fine with me. I totally get it. But mast cell activation syndrome, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, coconut allergy, all of those are rare. So is POTS. And Life with Abby. Hello. I am so glad that you found me. I was really hoping that somebody would be able to see the video that I posted on TikTok before I came over here, because let me tell you, the ban on TikTok, not so awesome, especially for something that didn't actually happen, right? Um, they're saying it's blank speech. Um, don't have any idea where that came from. But do me a favor, Abby, if you could share this on across your socials, that would be amazing. You are absolutely so appreciated. I'm actually feeling pretty good today. I'm doing pretty good. I have a spot that's recovering from a coconut, I think it was a coconut allergy. Um, uh, Exposure. I ate something without reading the ingredients. Not the smartest thing to do. In fact, I just finished an entire series of videos that I'll be posting to TikTok separately and then putting together as a whole video for YouTube. Um, because there's a guy who claims to be some kind of pharmaceutical researcher, rep, whatever, who claims that in his 30 years of research, he's never heard of coconut allergy, so it's not real. That's not true. Um, I have an EpiPen for that. Definitely. I tell people all the time, always read the ingredients. And then what do? I forget to read the ingredients sometimes. So we're all human. We're all human. How are you doing tonight? Let me show you what I'm working on. By the way, Abby, you are my favorite person because you are the first person to join me on a live on YouTube, which is a huge deal. Um, and if I can get to 1,000 followers on YouTube, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I can actually monetize a channel, which would be amazing. With 6,000 followers, almost 6,000 followers on YouTube, sorry, on TikTok. Um, if I can just get a few of you over here, that would be so great. I have 2 people watching. Yay! I do forget to, yeah, a lot of us forget to read the ingredients. And the thing is, even when we read the ingredients, we often miss things because coconut, if it's coconut allergy, um, is often labeled as other things. Um, there are so many names. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. I really do. Um, if anyone watching would like to support me as a content creator, there obviously watch, subscribe, interact like Abby, And please share. Sharing the video will definitely help get it into the algorithm. And I've also got in my description, I think in my information, uh, you can check out my Patreon and everything else. But yeah, thank you for being here. I totally appreciate you. You have no idea how much. Um, I'm working on art while I talk, but if you'd like for me to talk about something specific, let me know. I'm more than happy to do research with you while I paint, if you want. Um, totally cool with that. Um, because not everybody knows what mast cell activation syndrome is, or EDS, or POTS. Um, In fact, my daughter and I drove with my husband recently from Minnesota to Tennessee because that's what we needed to do to be able to find a doctor that would listen to us and get the diagnosis that we needed, the diagnoses that we needed. We were not diagnosis chasing, just to be clear. We were more looking for a doctor to um, take our concerns seriously and um, actually do the proper testing and pay attention to what we have to say and our symptoms and take us seriously just to validate what was going on. When we have actual symptoms that are quantifiable, that are testable, that are obvious, and you've got doctors telling you that you don't have, or that it's all in your head, or anything like that, that's medical gaslighting, and that is some dangerous stuff, let me tell you, because it's happened to a lot of people. And I appreciate you, Abby. Thank you very much. Let's see. I'm going to work on I'm going to be working on figuring out a better way to. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. You are amazing. Let's see. We're going to change, working with the lighting, just playing with the lighting. You better like that one. Just playing with the lighting a minute. We'll go with that one. I like that one. What do you think? So I've got some news too. My daughter was just diagnosed with mast cell activation syndrome after 2 years of being treated for mast cell activation syndrome, but not diagnosed with. She earned her EpiPens. For dinner tonight, I already ate a while ago. We had a gluten-free pizza that was actually safe for me, which rare, but no reactions, no problems, and it was really, really good. Right now, I am just drinking ice water and paying attention to potential symptoms because right around now-ish is when my um, histamine dumps tend to happen. Um, just to show off a few of the little things that I've been working on for Day of the Dead. I would like to eventually start a separate channel so that a B channel under this one to showcase my art and my time lapses from Procreate because I think those will be nice. You had Kings for dinner. It's my brother's birthday, so we had a blast. Happy birthday to your brother. I hope you guys had a great time. Kings, it's a fast I know I've seen canes, but I don't think I've eaten at one. I'm not sure if I can eat there. One opened up right by where we used to live in Minnesota just before we moved. Um, and that did not get a chance to ever try it out. But I'm glad you had a good time. So, is there anything specific that you would like to talk about? Oh, 14 years old. That's awesome. My daughter is 16. Um, what kind of food does Cane's serve? And I'm gonna have to look them up and see if they're available, if they're gluten free. If they're gluten free, then we can go there. I'm looking to see if it's possible to. Oh, here we go. So if you're not following me, I'm also on Facebook, Chronically Spicy. And like I said, if TikTok doesn't want me right now, talking live, then I'm gonna go on YouTube and I'm gonna go on Facebook and I'm gonna start trying to be more consistent in posting content over on these platforms because, like I said, TikTok is great for connecting with other chronic illness people, but and learning about things that you know, sorry, that we that become obvious to us once we hear like other people are experiencing the same symptoms, but um, it's not all that great for getting outside of the bubble. And by that I mean most of the time it's people on YouTube talking about the crazy things they see on TikTok. But the chronic illness conversation, latex allergy, coconut allergy, chronic mast cell activation syndrome, for example, they are not hashtags that I've seen other people using. In fact, I think I'm the only person that has used those hashtags consistently on YouTube recently. Now, keep in mind, I understand only like 5.5 to 1% of the population actually have coconut allergy. So, you know, I understand that it's a small thing, but for the people who, small number, but for the people who actually have the allergy, it's very, very, very real. Abby says they have chicken strips and bread and sauce that goes with it. Then I'm going to bet it's probably not safe for us to eat at. My husband has celiac disease, so does my celiac, and so does my daughter, and I am allergic to meat slash gluten. And for those who don't know, wheat and gluten are also potential latex crosses. Doesn't mean you're automatically going to be allergic, just means that there's a possibility. About 30% of the people who have latex allergy or coconut allergy or are allergic to anything on the latex root syndrome list can become allergic to, the allergy can either increase in severity or can increase to include other things on the latex root syndrome list. So, yeah, the sauce is good. I love it. A good sauce can make the, oh God, sauces are amazing when they're, well, at least for me, when they're safe. But sauces make the difference. There's a barbecue place that's near us that um, we need to find out if we can bring our own sauce to, which sounds weird, because the meat, my husband's eaten there before, and he said that the meats are really, really, really good, but the sauces are not safe. So we can't have any of those. So we haven't gone there yet. I wanted to show you my favorite one. This one has actual dried flowers in the eyes. These were from the state of Maine. So I've had these flowers for I think like 10 years now and just got them out of the flower press. Um, so, and this is the one I'm currently working on because this one's going to be the biggest project that I've taken on in a little while. It's not claimed. It's just something I'm working on for fun. And if it sells, it sells. And if not, I get to display it for as long as it's mine. I am getting ready to all right, so hello to Facebook. There we go. So I am also on Facebook for a little while. I know I won't be on for a super long time. It's crazy late to be going live during the middle of the week. But then again, time zones exist, and there are people all across the spectrum on where people live. So why not give it a shot and at least get started? It's now or never, right? Um, and like I said, I sincerely appreciate you being here because you, my friend, are one of the reasons that well, you're one of the reasons that I know that the information that I'm posting is helping. Um, and that's one of the biggest reasons that I do what I do. I want to put out the information as that I've come across, that I research. I'm a published writer. I've written for Huffington Post, for Redbook, for um, Yahoo Health, for Huffington Post, for a bunch of A&E True Crime. I've written for a lot of sites, and I used to work at the Detroit News, and I used to be an editor for community newspapers. So research is my jam, and when it comes to researching my chronic illnesses and my allergies, there you go, right? So that's why I always make sure I include valid resources and reputable sources for the information that I share. I'm working on this one. I'm also working on this one. This guy has a little bit to go. I think the opposite side is going to look like this. So, showing Facebook. The good thing about Facebook and YouTube is that the lives don't disappear after X number of days, which is honestly one of the reasons I probably should have been doing this. I should have been focusing on building YouTube, but from the get go. But honestly, if I had started here, Abby, you might not have found me. So, I guess things have a way of working out. And I'm trying to focus the camera a little bit so you can see what I'm working on. So things kind of work out, I think, the way they're meant to. And yeah, I might not necessarily be, you know, buying a house or anything anytime soon with content creation income. But I'm doing my best to turn my passion for advocacy and sharing information that is important to us, and hopefully maybe turn it into an actual career. Right now, it's a hobby, but I also consider it, um, advocacy, because this is information that people need to have, And if our doctors are gaslighting us and we're still experiencing symptoms, physical, quantifiable symptoms that are obvious to us and those around us, then obviously something is wrong. If you break your leg and you walk into a doctor, and I'm going to rephrase that. If you break your leg and you go to the ER, a doctor's not going to tell you it's all in your head. But if you are if you're experiencing symptoms from MAST cell activation syndrome or Ehlers-Danlos syndrome or POTS or other rare conditions like relapsing polychondritis, then you've got doctors who are going to be ready to tell you that it's all in your head and prescribe, and write it off as anxiety, depression, and sometimes worse. And that's not good for anyone at all. Especially when there is proven and validated and peer-reviewed research that's available that we as the general public can find, and doctors who are refusing to stay up to date on the research that we are finding. Like, how does that even work? Like, if we can find it, so should they. One of my favorite people on TikTok, Nikki Benz, Chronically Ill Empress, posted a video basically asking, not too long ago, basically asking, so why is it only research from doctors? If a doctor goes on Google and looks up something, then it's valid because they have the medical degree. Juliet, how are you, my love? I am so excited to see you. This is fun. I am so excited to be able to see people hanging out with me on other platforms. I've spent a lot of time on YouTube, on TikTok, and created a lot of content on TikTok that I need to start posting and reposting and reformatting for YouTube and Facebook because the conversation can't just stop on TikTok. And that's that's actually my problem with TikTok is that it's a little bubble. It's an echo chamber. The FYP is great for connecting us with other people who are experiencing or going through the same things that we are. The For You page. The algorithm on TikTok is something to marvel at. Let me tell you. If you're not already if you're not on TikTok yourself, but if you are, you know exactly what I mean. The FYP tends to throw some amazing stuff in your timeline where you're like, wait a minute, how would it know I was thinking that, feeling that, experiencing that, whatever. And that's how the chronic illness community finds each other on TikTok. But we don't have very much representation outside of that. And that's one of the reasons that I am starting to try to post more on other platforms, including and specifically YouTube and Facebook, And for Juliet, by the way, babe, um, I got banned from going live on TikTok for a few weeks. I can't go live on TikTok until October 6th because I was, um, I don't know how this happened. I don't know what was said. I wasn't given an explanation. But apparently, my live last night with a friend who was helping me fix my braids was tagged as speech, the one that rhymes with feet, which makes no sense. Abby, how's your night going? Abby's hanging out with me on YouTube. Julia, if you're not following me on YouTube, I am trying to uh, start building my audience over there. And if I can get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I can actually monetize the channel, which would be absolutely phenomenal. Because right now, this is just, I don't want to say just, but it's a hobby more than anything. Um, and, comes from, a place of need, I think, because I believe the information does need to be out there. That, and I'm connecting with a lot of people who are telling me that they didn't know about that they actually a lot of people have told me that they've been diagnosed uh, with certain conditions because of the information that I've shared, and that feels good to know that I'm making a little bit of a difference because I just wish that the same information had been available 16 years ago when things started going bad for me. You know, how are you doing tonight, Juliet? I am working on. Ooh, I am working on this guy. I do Day of the Dead art, and my Etsy shop is Pauline Campos Studios. I think I need to stop on this part for now so that it can dry there, or I'm going to keep smudging that spot. So we are done with this guy for now. So I'm very careful with the products that I use for my art with my allergies. Some parts of my art I can do by myself. Some parts I need to have a family member do for me, like when it's time to seal, uh, do the finish work on things like this, because it's an aerosol, you know? It's a spray, glue, which means that there's going to be latex and adhesive particles in the air, and I have to be careful with that. So, my husband or daughter will typically do those for me, um, and I'm always make sure that it's outside. I do that outside. It's never done inside the house. I haven't seen you in forever, Juliet. I wish Facebook stopped. I wish Facebook didn't like automatically decide for us who we get to see in our timeline. My favorite. Remember the days when Facebook actually used to, just show us things in the order they were posted and not just what the algorithm decided, whatever the algorithm deems to be the most important. And Abby, thank you for going on the TikTok and creating a video letting people know that I was live on YouTube. I appreciate that. So currently, I am working on this guy. And I'll just be hanging out for a little bit, but if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to stop what I'm doing and do a little bit of research if you'd like, help you look things up, verify information. I plan on inviting a few of my mutuals, my TikTok mutuals, over for interviews here on YouTube and Facebook. I'll probably start talking to people tomorrow and seeing if we can schedule like a weekly regular time for a live stream, so we can start getting the conversation outside of the TikTok bubble, which, like I said, while it's great and serves an incredible purpose to connect us with those in our community, it really only keeps the conversation within those in our community, and it doesn't do a lot for awareness outside of that. So, yeah. Stars Party. Ooh. Apparently, on Facebook, what is it? Your audience can be your audience. You can challenge your audience to activate a Stars Party distance stars within a 5-minute limit and unlock a special celebration. Maybe we'll try that after we get a few more people in the group on a regular basis, because I won't be on TikTok live for a while, and quite honestly, I might just start doing just go back to just posting regular videos on TikTok and keeping lives over on YouTube and Facebook, because well, TikTok told me they don't want me right now, not for lives anyway, and for a very weird reason for which they gave me no justification. So we are over here tonight. And I appreciate the fact that what I'm posting is going to stay live. So since I'm here, let's take a minute and do a little bit of education on Facebook. Let's see. I'm just going to give 1 second here. Let's go. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Stop trying to log me into Facebook. There we go. I'm glad you enjoyed your dinner with your brother, Abby. Please wish him a happy birthday for me. All right, so let's talk about mast cell activation syndrome really quickly. And we can focus on a different topic another night. But I will, let me see, do I have how do I go back to what I was seeing before? Because I don't see comments right now on Facebook. There we go. Ooh, Juliet and Michelle and the blue is pretty. Thank you, Juliet. Sorry I couldn't see the comments before. I'm still learning how to use Facebook Live. Hello, Michelle. How are you? Michelle, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This one's my favorite right now. So is there anything that you want me to look up, anything you want to talk about specifically? Because I was going to look up mast cell activation syndrome and talk a little bit about that. Thank you. I appreciate you joining. Let's see. All right, so just to give a basic hi, I have a few. I have YouTubing and Facebooking because I got this is my mini me.
Hello.
This
TikTok people already know me.
This is TikTok people already know my mini me. This is Eliana, and right now she's going through a mini MCAS flare.
I'm having a great time.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, babe. So yeah, she's going through a mini MCAS flare right now. And so I've got to get to bed. Toddlers get up super early. I understand, Juliet. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. And thank you very much. I'm going to try and go live earlier next time. It took me a little while to figure out how to get live on Facebook tonight because I haven't done it very often. So,
did you ask Willa about the thing?
Yes, and it's taken care of.
Check if the other thing's John, so give me a second.
That's fine. Send me the link if it's not. Yeah. Thank you so much for stopping by, Juliet. I appreciate it.
It is still on sale. Let's just order that
now. Maybe after I'm off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I don't know when the fucking sale's gonna be.
Different audience.
Different audience. They're gonna get used to our shit eventually anyway.
This is true.
If you want them to be an audience, you do realize they're going to be experiencing the exact same thing TikTok is, and depriving them of that is kind of giving the audience a false impression. I'm not false advertising. Don't even start that.
My child has the filter of a drunken sailor, and that's partially my fault.
I mean, I do have a filter. I just don't usually care.
Yes, I know, but I have to be a little careful sometimes, especially. Well, I'm gonna try a little. I'm gonna try.
Oh, it's not going to be a TikTok's filtering system. So.
That's true. That's true. So, ooh, careful. Okay, so Juliet stopped by and said hi. That was awesome. Michelle stopped by and said hi. So thank you. Michelle Cirio studied at Università degli Studi di Brescia. I'm going to guess Italian. Let's see. All right, so let's go over mast cell activation syndrome real quick. I'm going to read from a Healthline article, and then we're going to call it good for tonight. And we'll try again tomorrow, earlier in the evening. I'm going to see if I can get regular people, if I can get someone to join me as a guest, one of my fellow chronic illness creators, and see if we can start getting a regular audience to get the conversation out there on mast cell, EDS, POTS, and other rare conditions that a lot of patients tend to get medically gaslit about. Mast Cell Activation, this is from healthline.com. You'll follow me on the Tiki. Thank you, Juliet. Just so you know, I've been banned on TikTok from live streaming until October 6th. So, I'm a little mad about that. So I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna stop live streaming on TikTok and start focusing on live streaming on YouTube and Facebook, and just posting videos like I used to on TikTok, and then port that content over into longer form videos for Facebook and YouTube, which is, I believe, the formula I've been seeing most content creators who are making a go of this and actually succeeding. It seems to be how it seems the formula I see working the most. So that's what I'm going to try to do, because not going live till October 6th is a very long time. And by the way, say hi to me on TikTok on any video you choose to, so that I know who you are. I don't know what your username is over there, because I want to follow you back. I do not follow everybody back on TikTok just because my FYP page would be overwhelming, and my ADHD would be a complete mess. So, yeah. So make sure you say hi, and I'll follow you back, okay? Yeah, breaking the rules. I don't know what I did. You still have the cry cut? Holy wow. I just saw that. Wow. One of my friends from Facebook that I have known forever bought a cry cut that I sold a long time ago. Cricket? I don't know how to pronounce that. It was one of my ADHD buys. And then I never used it. So she bought it from me. So thanks for stopping by, Juliet. I appreciate it. All right, mast cell activation syndrome. Let's talk about that. And next time, we'll lead with the medical portion and stick around for chat if people are hanging out. Mast cell activation syndrome, healthline.com. Medically reviewed by Mark Meth, MD. That's his name, Mark Meth, MD. And written by Nancy Moyer. Mast cell activation syndrome, MCAS, is a condition that occurs when the mast cells in your body release too much of a substance that causes allergy-like symptoms. That is not fun. Underestimation of the century. What is mast cell activation syndrome, MCAS? Mast cells are part of your immune system. They're found throughout the body, particularly in your bone marrow and around blood vessels. When people are exposed to allergens, including medications, foods, and insect venom that they're allergic to, think mosquito bites. Everybody reacts to mosquito bites. Mast cells typically react by releasing chemical mediators. These mediators cause symptoms of an allergic reaction, including itching, mucus, and inflammation. So it is not uncommon for people with mast cell activation syndrome to have chronic inflammation. That's one of my issues. If you have MCAS, your mast cells release these same mediators too frequently and too often without exposure to an allergen. Mastocytosis, a variant of MCAS, happens when your body produces too many mast cells in one or more organs within your body. MCAS can also occur without a known cause. I was diagnosed clinically, so that's the category that I fall into. And it took 15 years to get diagnosed. What causes it? Researchers aren't sure. Some studies suggest that there may be a genetic component to MCAS. I'm going to say that my own study, unofficially, when I had a child who also developed MCAS, is confirmation for that. But many more research is needed to fully understand what puts a person at greater risk for developing the condition. I can tell you that since the pandemic, that long COVID has been linked or has been linked to be a cause for mast cell activation syndrome, as well as EDS and POTS. And EDS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, POTS, post-tachycardia syndrome, and MCAS are often appear comorbidly as a trifecta. My daughter has all three. She was diagnosed almost 3 weeks ago now with all three. So there you go. Primary MCAS. Researchers have identified 3 variants of MCAS. They include primary, occurs when a certain mutation known as the KIT D816V mutation is found and the mast cells display CD25, often with a confirmed case of mastocytosis. Mastocytosis occurs when the body produces too many mast cells. Secondary MCAS. Secondary MCAS occurs as an indirect result of another immunologic condition, IgE-mediated allergen, food or environmental allergy, or hypersensitivity to another trigger. That could possibly be how mine started, because I do have a large number of allergens. So that could be how mine began. Mine was triggered during my pregnancy. But any illness or traumatic event has been proven to be able to cause or trigger MCAS in a person who's predisposed. I think is the right way to phrase that. There's also idiopathic MCAS, means that the cause of MCAS can't be determined. Unlike primary MCAS, it's not the result of a cloned cell, and unlike secondary MCAS, a doctor or healthcare professional can't determine an underlying trigger for the mast cell activation syndrome. So technically speaking, mine is idiopathic. However, I'm allergic to latex, coconut, ethylene diamide chloride, and a number of other things. So I think it's fairly safe, at least in my unprofessional but very researched opinion, to say that mine would fall under a secondary MCAS. If you have secondary MCAS, you may find that exposure to certain things can trigger your symptoms. Hi, I fall into that category. If you have primary or idiopathic MCAS, symptoms will occur without exposure to any particular trigger. That also happens to me. What are the symptoms? Again, this is from healthline.com. The release of too many mast cell mediators can impact almost every part of your body. The primary affected areas include skin, nervous system, yes, heart, and gastrointestinal tract. The number of mediators released can cause symptoms that range from mild to life-threatening. Symptoms may include skin, itching, flushing, hives, sweating, swelling, rash. Eyes, itching, irritation, and watering. Nose, itching, and running. Mouth and throat, itching, swelling in your tongue, lips, swelling in your tongue or lips, or swelling in your throat. Lungs, trouble breathing, wheezing, and possibly coughing, actually, too, which isn't listed because there is the variant of asthma which manifests with cough as opposed to wheezing. My daughter has the coughing variant of asthma, and so that she has an nebulizer and rescue and control inhaler for those. And hers is categorized as allergic asthma and connected to her MAST cell activation syndrome. Heart and blood vessels, low blood pressure, rapid heart rate. Stomach and intestines, cramping, nausea. Is it nausea or nausea? Diarrhea and abdominal pain. Nervous system, headache, confusion, fatigue. None of those are fun symptoms to experience. They can be pretty serious. In severe cases, you may even experience anaphylactic shock. This condition requires emergency treatment. Symptoms can include rapid drop in blood pressure, lightheadedness, weak pulse, trouble breathing, or quick and shallow breathing, confusion, and loss of consciousness. Haha. That might explain the other day. Sometimes it's hard, and this is important to know. Sometimes when you're in the middle of an anaphylactic reaction, you don't know you're in the middle of an anaphylactic reaction until after it's over. So it's really good to try and be aware as possible. And for those that you're with and around, your family, friends, to also be as aware as possible, because somebody else might notice before you do that you're experiencing a reaction. If someone else experiences symptoms, call 911 or your local emergency services. Still reading from Healthline, almost done. MCAS occurs when the mast cells in your body release too much of the mediator substance that cause allergy-like symptoms. Mastocytosis occurs when your body produces too many mast cells and is a type of primary MCAS. These cells can continue growing and tend to be overly sensitive to activation and mediator release. Because there are more mast cells, they release a higher amount of mediators, causing an allergic-like reaction and sometimes anaphylaxis. Anaphylaxis is medically defined as 2 or more body systems affected at once, by the way. Just so you know, what we see in the media with people passing out because they can no longer breathe and their blood pressure has dropped to dangerous levels, when you've reached that point, it's anaphylactic shock. So what a lot of people, and I learned this a few years ago, 2 or more body systems affected at once. So anything from hives and panic attack, impending sense of doom, immediate and urgent sense to pee, along with swelling of tongue, lips, throat, anything like any combination of 2 or more body systems, flushing, all of that, 2 or more body systems, that's anaphylaxis. And you need to make sure you talk to your doctor for a rescue plan and make sure you have your rescue medication and rescue antihistamine and EpiPen. Most people, I think everyone I know who's diagnosed MCAS has an EpiPen. In fact, I know plenty of people without an actual MCAS diagnosis who are being treated for MCAS without the diagnosis who also have EpiPens. So if you think you have it, make sure you talk to your doctor. Mastocytosis can be cutaneous, in which the number of mast cells are only present in the skin, or systemic, in which the mast cells are in other organs. Cutaneous mastocytosis can cause skin lesions. Systemic mastocytosis may lead to a larger liver or spleen or reduced organ function. Mast cell leukemia is a rare form of mastocytosis that may develop over time. Skin and bone marrow biopsies may be used to look for elevated number of mast cells. The presence of mutation called KIT D816V causes the ongoing growth of mast cells, along with their activation and can also indicate mastocytosis. How is it diagnosed? An Academy of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology Work Group report proposed the following criteria for diagnosing mast cell activation syndrome. And I'm going to have to do a separate TikTok specific to just this so that people are aware. Here are the criteria proposed by the American Academy of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology. You have recurrent severe symptoms, often anaphylaxis, that affect at least 2 organs. Taking medications that block the effect or release of mast cell mediators reduces or resolves your symptoms. Mast cell mediators can include tryptase, histamine, prostaglandin, PGD2, leukotrienes, LT, C4. Blood or urine tests taken during an episode show higher levels of markers for mediators or the metabolites than when you aren't having an episode. But be aware that these tests can be highly inconclusive and are often mishandled by labs unknowingly, therefore throwing off the results. Other mediators can also be involved, but they're not specific to MCAS. Still, an unexpected increase in their levels could include MCAS. Markers can include histamine, plasma, and urine, prostaglandin, PGD2, leukotrienes, histamine metabolites in the urine, 24-hour urine PGD2 metabolite. That's the one that's really, really hard for labs to actually handle correctly. Just so you are aware, if that's suggested, talk to your doctor and make sure that you inform them respectfully that the lab needs to be aware of how to handle that test, because if it's not handled properly from start to finish, it's not going to be, the results are not going to be accurate. It could be a false negative. Before making a diagnosis, the doctor will likely review your medical history, do an exam, and order blood and urine tests to check for other possible causes of your symptoms. They may also use bone marrow tests to confirm the diagnosis of MCAS rather than mastocytosis. How is it treated? There's currently no cure for MCAS, but there are ways to manage the symptoms. Treatments can include H1s or H2 antihistamines. Most people with MCAS that I know take both. These block the effects of histamine, which is one of the primary mediators that mast cells release. Histamine type 1 receptor blockers include cetirizine and loratadine and can help with symptoms such as itching and stomach pain. Histamine type 2 receptor blockers include ranitidine and famotidine, so like Pepcid, like heartburn medication, which can treat abdomen pain and nausea. Aspirin may decrease flushing, but talk to your doctor if you're sensitive to NSAIDs. Mast cell stabilizers, which can include everything from cromolyn sodium to Xolair. Be aware, though, however, if you are latex allergic, the pre-filled syringes for Xolair contain latex in the tips. And if you have coconut allergy or latex root syndrome and are sensitive to coconut, both the pre-filled syringes for Xolair that contain latex and the non-pre-filled syringes that you have to have injected at the doctor's office contain polysorbate 80, which is a derivative of coconut. So my daughter can do Xolair, and she is going to be prescribed Xolair, the latex-free version, just because of the fact that I'm allergic to latex. But I can't do any Xolair because of the polysorbate 80 and the coconut allergy. Other things that can help with mast cell stabilization: anti-leukotrienes, medications such as zafirlukast, Zafirlukast, and montelukast block the effects of leukotrienes, another common type of mediator to treat wheezing and stomach cramps. A little bit. I'm adding this to the list to talk to our doctor for you. Anti-leukotrienes. All right. And then corticosteroids, which I'm allergic to. Should only be used as a last resort for treatment of edema, swelling, wheezing, and hives. If you develop anaphylactic shock or other severe symptoms, you'll need an EpiPen. This can be done at a hospital or with an auto-injector EpiPen. If you use an epinephrine auto-injector, you should still visit the emergency room and be aware that symptoms you can have it's called a biphasic reaction. So you can have secondary reactions, like hours after the first. If you experience severe symptoms, consider wearing a medical ID bracelet until you figure out your triggers, and maybe even after, just so other people may be aware in case you become unconscious during a reaction or can't speak for yourself. Diet. Currently, no studies examine or look directly at the relationship between changes in diet and MCAS. If you have a doctor diagnoses you with secondary MCAS, you may find that certain foods trigger your symptoms. You should discuss changes to your diet with your doctor and avoid foods that trigger a reaction. If you experience symptoms of an allergy after eating a certain food, you may have an allergic reaction rather than MCAS, although you can have both. But having MCAS doesn't automatically mean that you're going to have IgE-mediated allergies that are quantifiably testable in skin or food challenges. Some anecdotal evidence suggests that diet changes may help those with MCAS. However, science and large-scale evidence don't back up their use for MCAS. A person may find some benefit to trying one of the diets related to MCAS, which include low histamine diet. That's the one that most people I know who have MCAS are following. But not everyone with MCAS needs to follow a low histamine diet. It just depends on you and figuring out your own body. Anecdotal evidence suggests that low histamine diets may help some people manage symptoms of MCAS, though scientific research apparently doesn't currently support this. I can tell you that personally speaking, it does help me. If I have something that's too high in histamine, I know it very quickly. A low histamine diet limits foods generally thought to be high in the chemical histamine, which mast cells release when they're activated. These foods can include hard cheese, fish, spinach, sausage, alcohol, anything fermented, dehydrated, and this is information that I'm adding from personal experience and other research not included in this article, but anything dehydrated, fermented, aged, pickled, or fermented are also typically high in histamine, as well as foods that are slow cooked and leftovers. Beef is high in histamine. Anything ground meats are high in histamine. Processed foods are high in histamine, and like deli meats are usually high in histamine too. So are coffee, tea, kombucha, and alcohol, and including wine. So keep that in mind too, and you can verify all that information online through reputable sources, mind you. Let's see. Low FODMAP diet can also help some people. However, there isn't enough scientific evidence to back up that claim either. A low FODMAP diet eliminates foods that contain certain kinds of sugars. The idea is to restrict certain foods and then reintroduce them to determine which ones may trigger symptoms, which is generally how we do it with low histamine diets too, because not every person is going to react to every food on the with high histamines. And some people can handle certain foods and others can't. So that just depends on us personally and how our bodies handle things. For example, my daughter can have ground beef. She can have a cheeseburger. I can't. 2 bites in and I'm having a reaction. A 2019 study in people with irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, a condition in which mast cells may play a role, found that the low FODMAP diet significantly lowered participants' level of histamines. This suggests that the diet may affect mast cell activity. The diet involves avoiding high FODMAP foods such as dairy, wheat, legumes, certain fruits, including apples and peaches, certain vegetables, including asparagus and broccoli. Interesting. It's been a while since I've had broccoli because the last time I had broccoli I had a reaction. It's important to talk to your doctor or dietitian before making dietary changes in order to ensure you receive the necessary amount of nutrients. What's the outlook? MCAS can cause unexpected allergic-like symptoms that interfere with your daily life. I can attest to that. While the exact causes of MCAS are still unclear, proper diagnosis and treatment can help you manage your symptoms. This article was updated July 13th, 2022. It was written by Nancy Moyer, MD, and Erica Klein, edited by Heather Hobbs, and medically reviewed by Mark Meth, MD, and copy edited by Brennan Doherty. As a reporter and freelance writer, I like to make sure I include the bylines and credits for those who are responsible for putting out the information which I am citing. All right, so stay tuned. I am going to do shorter form videos citing, basically blocking off the information here as it's presented for people to consume in smaller portions. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight for my first YouTube/Facebook live for mast cell activation syndrome. And stay tuned because I am going to be working on speaking with some of my fellow chronic illness mast cell activation syndrome and other condition mutuals and collaborators to see if I can bring anybody on as a guest and start having some more conversations out in the open outside of the TikTok, because these conversations need to be had. This information needs to be put out there, and awareness is sorely needed. So thank you for joining me tonight, and stay safe. Have a great night.